right. So joining us today is host of the Ari Hoffman Show and associate editor for the Post Millennial, Ari Hoffman, along with Democratic strategist Lee Neves. Good afternoon, gentlemen. So this was the element we were going to play for Mike Carter at the White House, but we lost the connection. So here it is.
Fun-loving people, great attitude, many in this room right now that I've met. Why in the world would you let Rosie O'Donnell move to Ireland? I think she's going to lower your happiness level.
It's true. Thank you. I like that question.
Mr. Prime Minister,
Do you know who she is?
Yeah. I'm joking.
You better off not knowing.
He probably doesn't know who she is.
He probably doesn't know who she is, but for our viewers that don't know, Rosie O'Donnell, the comedian here in the United States, has self-deported.
They've had a thing for a while.
They've had, and Trump and her have had a thing for a while, but she self-deported to Ireland and posted a really sad TikTok message explaining her reasons. But Ari, is it good riddance, just like what Trump said?
Look, I'm not going to say I got a lot of respect for Rosie O'Donnell, but at least she follows through on her convictions. She said she wanted out of here. How many other celebrities like Whoopi Goldberg and crew on The View still haven't left and said they were all moving to our 51st soon-to-be state, Canada? At least she actually followed through and did that. I got more respect for people who actually follow through with what they're going to say than the ones who stick around and just complain and don't actually follow through on it.
Lee, what's on your radar right now? I know you're somebody to the left of the aisle, typically, and we always appreciate your perspective here. What's getting your attention?
I think what's getting my attention is, you see Elon Musk now going after Social Security, and that is the third rail that if you touch will electrocute you. And it really is. It really is almost two opposing viewpoints, because you have President Trump saying we're not going to touch Social Security, and you have Elon Musk using fraud, waste, and abuse as a cover for something he doesn't like. He just doesn't like Social Security. He literally called it the world's biggest Ponzi scheme. And this is a guy who doesn't have to worry about Social Security. He is the richest man on the planet. He doesn't have to worry about it. He doesn't have to worry about getting that paycheck every month to make ends meet. And that is one of the things that's on my radar. I think if he goes after Social Security, if there are cuts of Social Security, it's going to put Republicans in the minority for a generation. I think the other thing that is important that had popped up on my radar is that you have very conflicting points of view now in the Trump cabinet. You have Elon Musk saying, I want to cut everything. And recently, the U.S. Department of Agriculture cut $1 billion from their local food buy program that was buying food from local American farmers. They cut $1 billion from that. Yet you have RFK saying we need to make America healthy again. So which is it? Are we going to spend the money to buy food from local American farmers? I used to be one many, many moons ago. I grew up on a 300-cow dairy way back in the 80s when my mom and dad ran it. Are you going to take money away from them that was putting healthy foods in front of kids, in front of families? Or are you going to take Elon Musk's route and not only hurt families, but a step back from making America healthy again?
Lee came
Ari,
to play today.
Yeah, he did. So, Ari, I'm going to take a part of what Lee just brought up, and that's Elon Musk and Social Security. We know that Social Security has been a problem for a really long time. People of my generation don't ever expect to get benefits. It's been insolvent, but it's also something that Donald Trump promised to the American public that he would not cut, that there would be no cuts in benefits for Social Security. So how do you view Elon Musk versus Trump in this, and was it helpful for Elon Musk to call Social Security a Ponzi scheme?
It is a Ponzi scheme. Think about how many people have to pay into that thing that may never see the money. The thing could be out of money by 2035. And like Lee said, it is the third rail of politics because that's where all the power is. I don't know why we went from all of a sudden Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, everybody else saying they want to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. So now the Democrats freaking out when we find out there is waste, fraud, and abuse that needs to be gotten rid of. Social Security will not survive unless reforms are made. What Elon Musk is doing is looking for the waste. He has found tons of it already. And also, the Democrats don't care about farmers because if they did, they wouldn't have jacked their gas prices. If they did, they wouldn't have sent inflation soaring through the roof. And if they did, they wouldn't have mandated electric vehicles when we don't even have farming equipment that runs on electricity and it only runs on gas. This is the same tired arguments we get from the Democrats all the time. They want the people in the senior brigade to march on Washington saying we shall overcome. They want to say they're looking out for the farmers, and yet they are doing the complete opposite. It's tired. You guys need a new narrative.
You know, the Social Security issue, to let people know, when it first started, there were roughly 8 people paying into the system for every one taking money out. And that's changed now to, I think it's 2.5 people working and paying into the system for each person. So that's one of the reasons it's insolvent. But when you call it a Ponzi scheme, there are a lot of Americans that say, I paid into this 30, 35 years. I was counting on this. And so they don't consider it a Ponzi scheme. They consider it their money. So that's one of the reasons it's a third rail. Having said that, Lee, do you think it's time to have a conversation over means testing? I mean, I don't know if President Trump received Social Security, but he qualifies. I assume he paid the taxes over the years. And just to finish up the thought here, should there be a later retirement age for people who are 25 now? And again, I'm assuming it's going to be there when they get older. It may not be.
I think it's time for a very frank conversation about reforming Social Security to make sure it's solvent, to make sure the people that have been paying for 30, 35 years into the program get those benefits. There needs to be a frank conversation. There needs to be a frank conversation for people on both sides. Who does the conversation not need to be led by? A guy who calls it a Ponzi scheme and really has no skin in the game when it comes to Social Security and would probably rather do away with it in its entirety. That conversation does not need to be led by Elon Musk. It needs to be led by anyone but Elon Musk.
Ari, I want to kind of change the topic for a brief moment, but we know that the Trump administration took back $400 million in grants